It's 16 past 1. Now, just continuing from last night's discussion, I did get snapped off at that point, right where I was kind of informing you of important facts. So I feel like today or tonight, this evening, this morning, we should just continue that discussion. I was talking about NBN and how our area is now ready. It's now build commenced. That's what the term is, build commenced. But our NBN rep, my local rep called Lachlan Sini, hasn't replied to my emails about the node, not the node placement, but the node capabilities if we were going to try for a fiber to the premise technology. They're calling it a technology switch. Now, why we would do that is obviously for future-proofing ourselves and for a better connection, a better speed. Ultimately, if full fiber run, as you know, would be better than fiber to the node. Now, there's a great deal of cost involved in that, as I was explaining last night. But what I didn't get to is that there's some conflicting info on the NBN Co website where it says one thing it says is you need to have an NBN service before you can do a technology switch. So you need to have something to your house before you can switch it. And then about $5 dot points below that, it says something like to the effect of, if you can negate the cost of a service if you do a technology switch before the service is there, which is completely contradictory. So that's why I've asked this guy. I've said, these are my emails to him. This is what I've sent to him. Let's crank that down. Actually, I can read this to you. You know what? Let's put that back up. Where's my ISO? I've messed that up, haven't I? Here we go. I should have just left it. Doesn't matter. I'll read this to you. So my email says to Lachlan, I said to him, I said, "Hi Lachlan, looking into this tech switch closer, I now have 3 premises surrounding our property keen to come on board. However, we are confused by some of the wording on your website. Could you clarify these 2 points? 1, all premises submitting an application must be connected to the NBN access network. 2, deduction of savings that would be incurred if the original planned technology is not constructed. These 2 statements seem to directly contradict one another. That would also mean we should be putting our application in right now before construction begins, correct?" And Lachlan said to me, which isn't surprising really given the status of this NBN and the way it's all rolled, he said to me, this is back in September 17, "Great question. I've always worked on the assumption that it was after an area had been declared ready for service. Essentially, once the build is nearly complete for that area. I've raised the query with our tech choice team to clarify. We'll advise you once I have an answer." And now, what are we now? The 7th of October, and we haven't got an answer yet. And the point is, we are now build commenced. So it feels like we've lost that argument because of delays. And that's what I was saying last night. I think we've now decided we're not going to go ahead with this fiber to the premise upgrade. It feels like we should just take what they give us and deal with it. A number of things that are a factor in that as